Hello. Thank you for dropping in for a few moments. I'll just get into position here. Yeah. So welcome back. Hang on, let me change the screen color. If you don't know, it's 53280, comma 0, 53281, comma 0, and then Control 2 will change the screen color. And then print. Oops. I'm in quote mode. World of Commodore. Space, semicolon, colon, go to 10. Does that work? Does it look okay? No. Print. Oh, that's right. It has to be go to 10. Run. World of Commodore. World of Commodore. There was a fellow. He was actually the fellow, I think, who was selling the I Adore My 64 buttons, and he wrote a little program that made World of Commodore go back and forth. He was experimenting with all kinds of things, reliving his programming days, I suspect. Let's see. How does this look? World of Commodore. Well, that too is interesting. Let's probably go the other way. There is a magic number of characters that make a really cool thing. But you know, that's not bad. Maybe I'll just do this. There we go. The World of Commodore. I could do it in different colors. I could. Anyway. Back to the 2022 World of Commodore that was presented by the Toronto Pet Users Group. Pretty much the longest continuous running user group to deal with Commodore computers anywhere in the world. Started by Lyman Duggan and Jim Butterfield. Way back. In probably 1977 or shortly thereafter when the pet first arrived on the scene. Anyway, it had, not that the show, the World of Commodore, has not always gone on, but certainly in the heyday, the World of Commodore was a huge event at the International Center in Mississauga, where tens of thousands of people would gather and essentially pay to get into a show where then they could buy things. But also there were demonstrations and noted personalities, such as, of course, Jim Butterfield. Lyman Duggan was not around all that long because his work took him shortly thereafter to Florida, where he still resides. And yes, I still keep in touch with him. An interesting character he is, as we all are. Anyway, so to continue with the World of Commodore, let me think back to more things. There were so many people I talked to, and no, I don't know all their names. I do not. I remember there's one fellow, and I was telling him about my sick Amiga 4000, and he said, "Oh yeah, mine is pieced together, and it's very solid now, but you should see inside. It's a horrible mess." Of course, he opens it up, and I look, and I see this neat little bunch of little green wires that are in the vicinity of where the battery was. But when I think of a horrible mess, I think of the thing that Bill Hurd showed us as a 128 prototype, which is boards and wires and boards and things and stuff that didn't even look like it was much more than something that you would, or as my grandmother used to say, a dog's breakfast. But of course it was the wires and everything that gave birth to the eventual Commodore 128. Anyway, it was a very neat job, and apparently his 4000 is, as they would say, tickety-boo. I have, over the weekend I did end up with another 4000. I have not tried it. I have not even got it out of the car yet, but I will. And I have one that is deficient and defective, and probably battery trouble has happened. Anyway, so much to do, including, of course, I now have some more 1541's to look at. But if you watch the previous video, you'll know the story. But you know, I mean, not everybody I knew, and there were a lot of people that I knew from the old days that I thought would be there that weren't there. I'm not sure. Maybe the price of admission scared them away, because it used to be, I think it was $5 if you remember, and $10 if you weren't, which included membership. Now I understand that, of course, this thing costs money, and if not a whole lot of people come, and they've spent a whole lot of money to put it on, then they're going to lose money. That's not good. But maybe next year, I don't know. I guess we'll see how it went over this year. But maybe this year, or sorry, next year, they can rethink the price a little, because I think that might have scared some people away. And indeed, I know what that's like. I know there was one time years ago, there was this reunion going on at the school that I worked at. And first of all, they were going to have the dinner not in the school, because somehow it would benefit somebody else who was somehow involved to have it at their restaurant that was nowhere near the school. And from the moment I heard this, I said, that's dumb. Reunions, the typical thing is people want to go, they have the thing catered, they have tables, either in the cafeteria where they used to eat lunch when they were teenagers, or in the gym, or something or other. And of course, I was immediately told, oh, no. And of course, eventually they said, oh, look, no one's signing up for the dinner. Maybe we should do it at the school. Imagine. The other thing about that was they wanted the returning staff members and retired teachers similarly to also pay to attend, to which I said, these are the people that are this is the draw. This is what people want to come back and see. They're the math teacher that opened their eyes to the wonders of math, or the whatever. And I said, all you're doing is making it that people won't come. So yes, perhaps there need to be a series of people deemed TPUG legends or Commodore legends who can, kind of like Wayne Gretzky, who can walk into any hockey game in the NHL there is, and they'll accommodate him. I don't think I think he has a special pass thing, but I think everybody just is like, oh my God, it's Wayne. Anyway, so there were people that I saw that I knew, and people that I saw that I didn't know, and people that I was looking around saying, I wonder where they are. And anyway, it was good. It was good. There was, I don't know how many different machines there. Certainly everything from, that's funny, I don't remember seeing an original Chiclet Pet. I don't. I could be wrong. Anyway, and there was an interesting display just inside the door of this fellow who had this thing that was, there was a Raspberry Pi involved, and I don't remember the name of it. I wish I did. I should have taken a picture, but I was busy talking to people, where the video from, I think it was an iPhone, was then fed in through this thing, and then you could look at yourself in Petsky characters on the screen of this small green screen pet. And of course, was it really great video? No, but it was cool. Really, really cool. And of course, there was the freebie table, which had Some things went very quickly. Actually, it's funny. There was a Mac on there near the end of the second day that I was going to pick up, but someone said, "Oh, you got to be careful because all the screws are out and it could fall apart." So I did up and sized it up and tried to figure, okay, how could I do this? And I went to very gently pick it up, and certainly then things started falling off the front. And someone said, you could even snap the back off the tube. And anyway, I was going to get it to pass it on to Rudy of Rudy's Retro Intel, but I think I would have somehow killed it, so I walked away. But there were other things on the freebie table, and they, as just as it implied, people bring things, and they're not all Commodore related. They're usually some kind of computer, something or other. They get there, and they may very quickly be snatched up, or they might sit there for 2 days, and at the end, people say, "Oh, look at that stuff." How about that? It's funny. The sign on the freebie table said, "Everything is free, but please don't take the sign." Anyway, there were people who were just showing what they had. There was a B machine, and I used to have two of these, which of course everything I ever got rid of I regret selling off, but we all regret things at times. Seller's remorse, and of course there's buyer's remorse. Like, did I really need 9 more bits of 1541 disk drive? No, I did not. But I couldn't not do it. I'm trying to think of other people specifically than it was nice to talk to Leaf Bloomquist. He is a fascinating fellow who is doing all kinds of things to enrich the world, and involved in the space. I was going to say race, but it's not a race. It's space exploration, and I know just little bits, but just keep in mind that someday, when the Canadarm3 is up and operating and doing wonderful things, somewhere in there, and I don't know if it's hardware, software, or just ingenuity, or all of the above, there will be a member of TPUG and his contribution. And the fellow who really deserves the most credit, whose name I always have trouble pronouncing, was the main running. I'll do another video on this. The main fellow behind it all. He made it all come together. And he was there doing the online thing and organizing and fretting over every little detail. But without his hard work and dedication, it would not have happened. And as I say, there were some people who, due to circumstances, just would have wanted to be there and couldn't be there, such as Rudy of Rudy's Retro Intel. Work things kept him busy in a way, but there's always next year, and I'll see him sometime other time. And one of my highlights in years past was always finding Steve Gray sitting in a corner with a variety of things that he was up to, and built and created, and really he's a genius. He is, but he could not come. So, I always enjoyed grabbing a chair and sitting and talking and looking and marveling over the things that he did, like having the 8032 where, with a simple stroke of a control key, it went to 40 columns, and other magical things. But anyway, he continues to create, and, we all do things as we can, and sometimes that takes a little longer. He's also been working on I think it's the 128 laptop, of which, there was a prototype made. I think word has it there were 3 of them. Bill Hurd has one anyway, but he has been working on recreating that, and I believe he's collaborating with, of all people, Bill Hurd. But these things take time, and life has a way of keeping us away from some of the things we would like to do. So, Anyway, I'm trying to think of other things. Oh, I did pick. I think I maybe mentioned the other. I picked up a diagnostic cartridge, which for the 64, which is still in the car. I'll have to go out and get that. It's all. I've got lots of things to empty out of the car that I haven't done. Monday after is always kind of slow because it's an emotional time seeing the things and the people and reliving the memories, and also seeing young people there marveling over some of the things of the past. Um, as we pass the torch to the next generation, we do. Not so long ago, I was the next generation. I was. Anyway, while I'm here, I think I might grab the 64 here. Now, I do intend to get a closer look at it. As you can see, it's been modified. I can't think of what someone would want to stick in here, but maybe it was for airflow. That certainly would let more air, and who knows, maybe the person had a fan sitting behind it. Anyway, it looks like it was sort of cut and melted off. It looks still even, it's sharp and maybe like it's a little molten. But this, if I'm not mistaken, there are no screws. Okay, I need to adjust things. Just a moment. I will set this carefully. And then I will carefully open this up. This is, ta-da, not what I thought it was. Okay, this is a 64 that I have not tested at all. And most chips are indeed socketed. Not but most, and this is not at all what I thought I was grabbing. So, just a second. Oh, no. No. Things are not allowed to fall down. This is what I thought I was grabbing. Is there a screw? Oh, there's a screw. Alright, hang on. I believe there's just one screw. Oh, no, there's two. That's fine. I try not to lose the screws. But things happen, and they do. I mean, I'm sure replacements can be found. I know this is the one I traded for. And I know this fellow had lost a screw, and you know what? I got lots of screws. So I know the one screw out of this ended up in one of his, and that's just dandy. So I need to take it out. Need to take off. This one is... things are falling. This one, there is no power switch. It has been mangled somehow. It looks like somebody put a hot soldering iron on the top of it in a couple of places by accident. But anyway, things happen. So let's just take this off. This is the one that, from what I know, it doesn't work. I have done nothing to it. I don't know if anybody at the show had a moment to look at it, but it is an original 326298 assembly revision A. And it's funny, you know, you would think that revision A is the first of these, but from what I know, from having the Jim Butterfield machine, revision B was actually the first and the rarest, and revision A and revision C were not so funny. Oh, the ports look very clean, like they've hardly been used. This also, let me just hold this up a little bit here so you can possibly see. I'm going to do some close-ups of this at some point, but this has not every single chip in a socket, but almost. As I look here, and I'm sure that under here is a video chip that's in a socket. All the main chips are socketed. all the RAM chips are socketed. And out of the support chips, of which there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 of them are. So this is a good candidate, if I can get it working and figured and sorted, to perhaps get everything socketed. Everything. And it does have all the chips in it. Now, what works in it? Who knows? And I look at the dates on the chips. They, yeah, a lot of them are seeming to be from 1982, although the 6526s are 1984. So anyway, like many machines of the early days, things have happened. Oh, my word. The shielding is almost coming right off the board. And I don't really want to do that. I don't want to hurt anything. Oh my. Like I'm trying to lift this off just to look, and the shielding is trying to come. I'd really like to look at the video chip, but the shielding is, yeah. I wonder if I can do this. Okay, I can. Haha. Yeah, so it's the cover here. I mean, the cover comes out, but the whole thing, I guess, is somewhat loose. Anyway, I've not seen that before. So what do we have here? But a 65, 67, looks like it's an R8 from the 12th month of 1983. And oh yeah, there's some more support chips in here that are not socketed. Also, the power switch, which is missing, it's just been soldered across, so the machine will just come on. And this may be, I mean, everything in here could be dead. Most everything could be fine. Who knows what has befallen this machine? I just don't know. But it looks in pretty fine shape, and it is, of course, one of the oldest versions of the board. So, I'll have to look at other ones. There does seem to be a couple of places here where there are chips that either aren't there, or were scheduled to be there, and it was deemed they didn't need to be there. In other words, U33 and U34. The places that they would be are quite full, like they're full of solder. It doesn't look like anybody's taken them out. I guess they were just deemed unnecessary at this time. Yes. The fuse, of all things, is really not, it looks cloudy and not good. I mean, I wonder if that's all. Let me look to the light. Well, it might be okay. I suppose, get back in there. I suppose if I was brave, I would plug it in and see what I see, I suppose. Now, is this necessarily wise? Well, no, it's not. But so I'll just set things down on top of each other, and I will put things down where they are safe. I will turn this off. And now knowing, see, I can't turn this off exactly. I'll turn the system off because the power switch is not there, so it's just going to go on. We're going to be really careful. I'm also really careful not to set anything down just till it falls. So I'm going to put in the video. And it's a good thing because, of course, the original 64s have the 5-pin video cable, as do ours. So then I'm going to very carefully, with great care and reverence, take this, line it up, and jam it in. what comes up? A blank sheet. Now, one thing you can do to get an idea, because this has not been plugged in very long, is to touch things. And if after these few seconds you come upon something that's very, very hot, then that is an indication that things are not good. But I, so far, have not detected any tremendous levels of heat. In other words, the finger that I'm using to touch things, well, is not feeling burned or hot. It is not. Now, I suppose if I was brave, how am I going to do this? I do have here this handy-dandy diagnostic cartridge, which, of course, I can't turn it off and on. So I can stick this in, and then once again, with great care, stick it in and see if anything happens. And the answer is no. Nothing seems to come up. Oh well. It will be an experiment, and what I will do mostly is, almost dropped that, is I will take and test these chips individually in another machine. I will, indeed. Anyway, but was this necessarily, like, I traded this for a machine that worked that was missing chips. You know, I figure it was a good gamble. We'll see. It may not be. It may end up being, as they say, a wall hanger. But who knows? Now, the other thing, as I talk on here, is I was saying that I should set a timer so the video doesn't get too big, and then I have trouble getting it off the iPad and onto my computer where I can edit it. And I'm kind of losing track of time. I'm going to plug this back in, and and I will put in the diagnostic cartridge on this. Now, I do not have the harness connected. Oh well. But, we'll let this do its thing. We shall, indeed. So maybe, for this moment, I should call it a moment, a day, a such, and then I can do some close-ups of some of these. You can see inside, and if anybody has any insights into what they see or don't see or anything, they can pass them along. But of course, with a Commodore 64, if you get a blank screen, it could be anything. And I much prefer testing them connected to a 1701 or a 1702 or some other monitor, because even though there's no switch here that I could switch, if really there's nothing going on, and thank you. If there's nothing going on that's good, or that even any indication of power, you will not see even the slightest flicker on the 1701 or the 1702 or whatever monitor you're connected to. Whereas if there's something happening, like there is power, there's some acknowledgement of something, then you at least know the fuse is good and that something is churning. Like even if it's just a little flicker on the screen. But if you turn it on and there's absolutely nothing, then check the fuse and then see where things lead from there. Anyway, so enough for now. I'm going to get up and stop recording and then ponder my next move. So thanks for coming. Oh, there's the sound test. There's the magical SID ship. So, once this is done, sounds good. I will bid you farewell. Thank you so much. And stay tuned. I have many, many, many more things to look through, many more things to examine, many more things to ponder over, and fret, etc., etc., etc. So, thanks for coming. Bye for now. Hope to see you next year at the World of Commodore 2023. Just remember, if you don't see anything online, just keep the first weekend in December open, just in case. Until we meet again. Bye for now. Oh dear, and I might have gone too long. Oh well, gotta set a timer.